Thank you for staying tuned. Well, the National Orientation Agency, NOA, has launched a nationwide 2-week civic campaign across all 774 local government areas, focusing on 5 key thematic areas: the National Identity Project, national symbols, values reorientation for students to curb extreme graduation sign-out antics, enlightening citizens on government programs, and yes, raising flood preparedness and security consciousness. Well, with us to break down how these themes are becoming reality in the Niger Delta is National Director, Community Safety Awareness and Compliance, NOA, Headquarters Abuja, Barrister Tessy Nnadue. She joins us live. You're welcome on the program. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to Niger Delta Today.
And we also have the Kwara State Director, NOA, Mr. Mkpoutom Mkpoutom. Thank you, sir, for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Welcome to Niger Delta Today. Well, let me start with you. Let's just have an overview of the tour so far within other states and so far in Akwa Ibom. Let's just understand how that has been going so far.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
This program has started already in the whole country, and here in Akwa Ibom State we are starting it. In fact, today that we are starting the program, and it is expected that by the time we start today, in the next 2 days, the local government area, the 31 local government areas, will join the suit and will carry the same message that we are going to speak by tomorrow.
All right. Well, when we look at the activities of the NOA now, and especially looking at those thematic areas that you have talked about, talking about curbing how celebrations are held during graduation, I'd like you to make us understand what that particular theme hopes at achieving by the NOA.
Yes, that sign-out, extreme sign-out practices that is ongoing now in schools, secondary and tertiary institutions are becoming a subject of concern to the federal government. In fact, the government at different level, because we are gradually snowballing to a situation whereby children will adopt it as a kind of cult calling. If you don't belong to that group, you cannot be known by one way or the other. And so the practices has gone out of hand. And if nothing is done to reduce the tide at which it is going right now, it might be a thing in the future that everybody will carry hands on their head. So we are now campaigning that it is not proper for a child, you finish the school, because when we are talking about finishing a school, you finish secondary school and then you sign out. So when you go to university, when you go to other pursuits, then when you finish university, you sign out. When you go for masters, when you go for other training in other areas. So we need all this in, because nobody can actually be having a clear picture of what these children are beginning to practice by signing out.
But is there anything wrong with signing out?
Signing out, yes, there's something wrong. There's something wrong, because that is what we are saying, that the thing is becoming a thing that if you don't belong, you are not known. And when it is like that, it is like trying to nurture a cult group that will become something of concern to the government in the future.
All right, National Director, you were about saying something.
Okay, thank you very much. Like you rightly asked, what is wrong with signing out? A lot of things are wrong with it. The activities surrounding the sign-outs are what is bothering National Orientation Agency. Mind you, what they do during that such party of signing out, because it's a big occasion for them, they do all sorts of things that's promoting moral decadence. You see them standing on their chests, on their breasts, on their laps. It's an eyesore when you see such activities. So what NOA is saying that these children, they cannot be practicing this if they have good parental protocol. The parents need a lot of work to do, because if you don't guide your child and show him, he or she, the way to go, you know the effects of it later in future. So what we are saying that they can practice, they can do their party, celebrate that, okay, they've completed maybe secondary school. Maybe it's even in primary school, it's happening now. So anything.
And there are some states that regulating that and preventing their schools from...
Yes, yes. So what NOA is saying, anything that we believe will not promote, values in our country, NOA jettisons it, and we want the public. That's why they cry out. We want the public to emulate the right values.
The National Director, have there been any clearly spelled out pattern that these celebrations should go? Is it that the issue is with writing on the white shirts that they wear, or are there specific things that the NOA has noted down that these practices must be discontinued?
Note, what NOA is saying, what we are preaching, that you can do your celebration, okay, you've completed maybe primary school. There are neater ways of celebration, not by carrying out all those displays that is not pleasurable to anybody to see. So NOA is preaching and telling them the right thing to do, even when you are celebrating your graduation. That's what NOA is spelling out.
Oh, right.
NOA is always ready to give the right values, the right advice in every occasion that we know will promote good upbringing to our children.
All right.
Okay, let's look at the aspect of identity management for the country. We understand is one of the thematic areas which the NOA is embarking on with this advocacy program. We're looking at identity. Is there a problem with the Nigerian identity as we speak, or is there something being done by the people to alter the identity of the people in the country?
All
Yes,
right. Yeah, okay.
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 Let me begin with you.
Okay, let me start before my DG speaks. Actually, we all have identity. In Nigeria, we had identity, but somewhere along the line, we tend to forget what should have been the best way to go in the nation. So, and NOA is coming up to remind us the need for everyone that wants to, who claims to be a Nigerian, to live the pathway to follow. Because it is like most of our conduct are not in tandem with the cultural practices of the people in the society. They are not within the confines of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is the more reason we are coming up to tell our people that we need to be disciplined. If you want to be a Nigerian, you need to be loyal to the government and do what the government is asking you to do. Not to say, I'm not, why should I do it? You are doing something extra. So if you do something extra, which is outside immoral and all those acts that are not acceptable by the norms and values of the society, you are not a Nigerian. So we are trying to tell everybody what to do, how to go by way of being a good Nigerian.
But Barrister, we've also had issues where Nigerians, especially those out of the country, get some ill treatment. In fact, currently speaking in South Africa, some Nigerians are being denied medical care. In other places, we get so many restrictions and all that tied to just being a Nigerian. Does it have anything to do with why this orientation exercise is ongoing?
You know, so our case with South Africa is a very peculiar one. They are being maltreated, or xenophobia, xenophobia, because they believe Nigerians, because of our, we are very residents. Wherever we go, we want to excel, we want to dominate. So, like the anger in South Africa happens to be that our men, especially, are striving, in a commercial with more than their
counterparts.
More than their counterparts.
Okay.
Yes, yes. You know, a typical Nigerian is always dogged in whatever he or she is doing, putting the best to make sure he or she excels. So what's happening in South Africa happens to be that because our men, they are very strong, they are very resilient. We find out that South African women are running after our men. And they are not happy with that. So the fighting doesn't really have to be with our values. But because of that anger that we are dominating in their country is making them to persecute us. So whatever we're saying, our Nigerians were not reported for our people in South Africa, they are not projecting us in a bad image. So we don't really have problem with that. But what we're saying, Wherever they are, let them continue to promote the right values. Let them continue to know where they are coming from, Nigerians. Let them know that at least they are there, they are projecting Nigeria in a better way. Of course, the issue there is not really happening that we are failing in all these our values, but because of envy and jealousy amongst the South Africans, that's why they are being persecuted. Another issue I want to chip in here happens to be our national symbols. You know, there are a series of them, just like some of them include the national flag, our currency, our passports, and what have you, a series of our national symbols. So what we are doing, and we've been doing for a very long time, is how to promote our national symbols. Let Nigerians know that these are, national symbols have come to stay, and it's for everybody to recognize them as our pride. Recognize them that it's very important for us to respect our national symbols, especially wherever you are, and something like a national anthem is being sung. We expect everybody to stand up and partake in such an activity. So we must respect our national symbols, like the issue of currency. The issue of currency, remember when people like Probisky had an issue, yes, and some of, even the other boy, there are other issues like that. People that, when they're doing parties,
social media influencers,
the Triple R, even Portable, many of them, they had that issues because the way they handled our currency were unbecoming. So what was saying that in every given time, no matter how excited you are, whether you are doing a party or what have you, you cannot mess around with our national symbols. So we are promoting our national symbols as one of our own thematic areas of what we are doing now.
All right, National Director, you're also representing the Director General of NOA,
Yes.
Malam Lanre, and I'd also like you to shed some light regarding the other area which is also of concern to the NOA, which is the flood aspect of it. How does the NOA come in, and what work have you done in that aspect, especially as it favors the Niger Delta region?
Even before now, we've done series of sensitization activities in respect of flood mitigation, because we work in tandem. We work with we have stakeholders like NIMET and the ISAT. These people, they inform the public about happenings of what will happen maybe 3 or 4 months even before the rainy season. We've had series of activities with them. But you know, Nigerians, it's only what they want to hear or what they do, they want to do it. That's why we'll keep on. Even now, we're bringing back flood mitigation. Sustainability is the watchword. That's what we're doing now. Because many of them, it's not as if they don't know that living in a flooded areas, even when they ask them to vacate from such areas that is dangerous, most times they resist because they believe this is their land, they are not going anywhere. Until when the incident happens, they start running. So many people have lost their life because of stubbornness. They say, okay, you want government, you want me to leave this place, provide another alternative. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2024 gave each state 3 billion naira in order for, to handle the issue of flood mitigation. In order to prepare people even before the activities. Some of them complied. They were able to relocate to a different, a better place, whereby flood will not be an issue. But some resisted, and some of them had to suffer for it. So anyway, what NOA is preaching is, where you live, if it's not okay, if it's not conducive, if it's not safe for you, what you do is to move out. You have to be alive before you consider your environment. You must stay alive. So staying alive now means watch out about this flood. Even if where you are safe, what of your relations, what of your friends? You must educate them in order for them to move to a safer plane where all will be free. Everybody will be safe. So the Nigerian government is after the welfare of our people. That's why the president, though that kind of amount of money for us to mitigate flooding. So the duty of a National Sanitation Agency, the public will not be aware unless we carry out sensitization activities.
All right.
Our duty is to educate them. That happens to be our mandate. Public enlightenment. We must enlighten the public about what government is doing about it, what we believe is good for them, in order for them to be safe.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much, National Director, Community Safety Awareness and Compliance, NOA Headquarters, Abuja, Barrister Tessy Nnadue, representing the Director General, Malam Lanre. Thank you for coming on the program. And we're hoping that this 2-week national campaign project on these 5 thematic areas that we have outlined would go a long way to reflect the work of the NOA and also achieve the much desired results. We must appreciate you especially for coming on the program.
Is that all you're asking us?
Well, we could reschedule this actually. We could reschedule
So
this.
many areas, these thematic areas are so important to us, like the issue of security, creating security
And
awareness.
definitely, we will capture that in subsequent editions of the program.
Because we want everybody to be safe.
Indeed.
And that's why even Chief of Defense Staff,
Well,
General Chris, what he did now, creating of new units in order to make sure that the security awareness
we would have loved to look at some of those areas
Chris
that you have
Musa is
mentioned.
important. Every day you see him crying out, giving us security tips. And like you mentioned, my department, I had community safety awareness and compliance. Security happens to be domicile in my department.
Okay.
So we'll carry out series of sensitization,
We'll have
programs
special time
with,
where we'll also get to talk about
security
other
agencies,
thematic areas.
in order for people to know the roles government is playing.
Indeed, ma.
Because you can see insecurity is at a very high level. We're talking about banditry. We can talk about
All right, ma'am.
I-
Thank you
one
very
chance,
much.
talk
Thank you.
about
We
understand.
appreciate it.
kidnapping
We
and all
appreciate
that.
it.
So NOA is going out within these 2 weeks to enlighten the people about
Right.
what they should
Thank
do.
Mama, we'll make our time to
We'll
have
make our
this
time to talk
conversation
about
again.
it. And
It's all right.
this is
Thank
where
you.
we'll draw the curtains.
Thank you very much,
Barrister
Tessy Nnadue, for speaking to us. And you too,
Akwa
State Director, NOA, Mr. Mkpoutom Mkpoutom. Thank you very much for coming on the program.